outside of Scotch and malted whiskies and into Irish whiskey, which I just realized is still a malted whiskey. It still uses malted barley. God bless it. Take it again. Hey everybody, it's Matt, Wrestling with Whiskey, back again. This time, it ain't bourbon, it ain't Scotch, we are into Irish whiskey. And we're starting off with a bang because I'm going to be exploring something from Teeling. Now, Teeling is unique because in Ireland, where a lot of people know Irish whiskey, we know Jameson, we know Paddy's, things like that. We obviously know Guinness, it's beer. But in Dublin, it used to be a huge distilling mecca for a long time, but it kind of hit a sour patch, not the kids. So Teeling, when it opened, it was the first distillery to open in the city of Dublin in 125 years. It was the first distillery in the city of Dublin in about 40 years, because the last major one closed in the 80s. So they kind of have now stood alone and really helping bring back the distilling tradition in Dublin. And Irish whiskey is a fast-growing category, so hop on that train if you're not on it. But today, we are going to be looking at a very special edition of Teeling. They make a lot of great standard releases, but I'm going to revisit a limited edition that I got when I was there visiting the distillery. Got to tour it, check it out, and I had to grab a very special gem on my way back, and that gem is the Revival. Now, they've had a couple releases of the Revival. This one is a 14-year single malt Irish whiskey. This one is bottled at 46% ABV. Beautiful bottle. Obviously, we've had some Irish family, after all. The cork on this is substantial. I mean, you can't get an idea, but this is like tossing a baseball. It is a substantial cork, and I love that. Like a lot of limited editions, comes with a beautiful box, opens up, and it's got a pretty little story in there for you. It makes you feel special and warm inside. But we've got to taste it, right? So let's dive into some Irish whiskey. Let's dive into my background and have some whiskey. So here we are with the Teeling Revival. Very appropriate for a distillery trying to revive the whiskey tradition in Dublin, in the heart of the city. I'm excited to get into more Irish whiskey. I am Irish, but I only ever drank Jameson. Jameson and Guinness. That was the combo when I was in my college or in early 20s. You just boom, boom. Wasn't even thinking about what I was drinking, but there's so much varied Irish whiskey out there. Let's dive into one. Right off the bat, it immediately almost smells like corn, even though I know it's not. Irish whiskey is traditionally triple distilled. There is a mellow, almost corny note on this, even though this is a single malted whiskey, malted barley. It does smell like corn, it's got that sweet richness from a bourbon. It's fruity, but not as fruity as some of the scotches I've had. It's obviously, this is not finished in any kind of wine barrel. Lots of pepper spice when you breathe in deep. Wow, that comes alive on the palate. It is viscous. There is herbal notes. There are black pepper spice notes. There are caramel notes. There is that malted note, almost like chocolate malt balls on there. It is almost like a spicy chocolate malted milkshake. Not that thick, obviously, but that same kind of a flavor. There is that malty richness. So it's not just the grainy maltiness, but this rich, creamy maltiness. Anyway, really, really pleasant. And a pretty substantial mouthfeel for an Irish whiskey, which I've always found Irish whiskeys to be a little thin on the palate. This one is very nice. There goes my screen. All around, that is a bold, spicy, full-flavored Irish whiskey. If you're looking to get into Irish whiskeys, there's so many to try. I would try Teeling standard releases. Their single grain is very good. They have a pot still one that was relatively new. That's very good. Check them out. Expand your palate into Irish whiskey, which does have an E, just like American whiskey. So guess what? It's all a whiskey. So you people who spell it without the E, leave me alone. Always be trying new things. Always expand into different regions and countries and all that stuff. And always be wrestling with whiskey. Yeah.